So pi section filter. So next is the pi section filter. We'll see why it is called pi section filter. Let me put that circuit diagram first. So this is the circuit diagram of a pi section filter. So a pi section filter which is there, this is formed by combining two filters. It is formed by combining two filters. So first one is a shunt capacitive filter, and the other one is null section filter. Null section filter. So a pi section filter is formed by combining two types of filters. One is the first one is shunt capacitive filter, and the second one is the L section filter. So you can see that, you can see in the diagram, this part represents a shunt capacitive filter. That part represents a shunt capacitive filter because capacitor C1 is connected in parallel to the load R and as well as rectifier output. The load between the rectifier output and the load R, C1 is the capacitor which is connected in parallel, or it is shunted across the resistor R. Hence, this forms a shunt capacitive filter, and remaining which is there. This is what that is an L section filter. It is an L section filter. The connection it makes such that the output of shunt capacitive is given as input to the L section filter. So then it forms what is called as the pi section filter. So why it is called as pi? If you forget about this, now if you take this network C1, L and C2, it resembles like pi function. It resembles like pi. To be more specific, I'll write pi. It resembles like a pi. So hence it is called as the pi section filter. So this filter is designed. This filter is designed to obtain greater voltages at lesser load. It is used to obtain greater, I can simply say output voltages. Greater output voltages at a very less. For that purpose, this is to obtain greater output voltages at lesser load. So let us see the working of this pi section filter. So the first capacitor which is there, C1 which is there, that will periodically charge to the peak value of input. So the capacitor C1 which is there, that capacitor C1 will charge to the peak value of the input. That means whatever input you are getting from the output of rectifier, for that signal, the C1 will be charged to the peak value. For example, the output of a full wave rectifier will be like this. So this value is called as the peak value. Peak value. So generally we say E0. Generally I say E0, peak value. So this capacitor will be charged to the peak value of the input signal, that is E0. So that is the thing that happens for the periodically means what? At regular intervals of time. Periodically means what? Regular intervals of time. Why it is periodically charging? Because the input, you are getting a periodical repetition of the signal. So this signal is repeated after this amount of delay. That means the signal is approaching peak value at this time, right? After interval of this time, again it is going to the peak value. So at regular intervals of time, periodically, it is going to the reaching the maximum value. So hence, C1 is also charged periodically to the maximum. Now, this is a point where the capacitor is charged to the maximum point. Here is also, this is the point where the capacitor is charged to the maximum value. And again here, it is the time where the capacitor is charged to the maximum value. Between this, what happens? Between the successive charging, between two successive charging, the capacitor C1 which is there, that starts discharging exponentially. That means I can write between successive charging, the capacitor C1 discharges exponentially through. So whatever is discharged, where it is moving. So between two successive charging peak values, between two peak values, the capacitor C1 is exponentially discharging. Because why it is discharging? Because the input signal is falling down to zero. It is falling down to zero. Since it is falling down to zero, the charge across the capacitor also starts decreasing. But it decreases exponentially. So what all charge has been discharged, where it will go? Where it will go? It will be delivered to the next filter, which is an L section filter. It is delivered to L section filter. In the case of shunt capacitive filter, all the thing which is discharged, it will be available at resistance R. Now in between the resistance R and shunt capacitive filter, we have a L section filter. So whatever charge is discharged, that will be delivered to the L section filter. So I can write here what? Exponentially through L section filter. L section filter. But though it is exponentially discharging, but the peak value of discharging, whenever it is discharging, the peak value is the value after discharging or instead of saying the value after discharging, the charge across capacitor is nearest to the peak value. Nearest to the peak value. That means though the capacitor is discharging, though the capacitor is discharging, but still the peak value or the charge that is present across the capacitor, that will be nearest to this peak. That means simply here. So this is a input signal. Now the capacitor will be charged to this maximum value, then it will try to discharge exponential. Will try to discharge. By the time it is reaching this point, this is again charging it, goes to the maximum point, starts discharging. That means what I am going to tell you that this discharging value will be close to the peak value. This discharging value which is there, just a minute, I will show it a little bit bigger. So this is the value. So here the capacitor will be charged to this maximum value. After the capacitor is charged to the maximum value, now it will try to discharge. But discharge is what? Exponential. But discharge is what? Exponential. Again it will be charged to this point. Again it will discharge exponential. Now after discharging, this value which is there, this value which is there, that is very nearest to the peak value. That value is very nearest to the peak value. That is what I wanted to say. After discharging, the charge across the capacitor will be nearest to the peak value. Will be nearest to the peak value. So that happens at the capacitor. So in this way, the shunt capacitive filter will remove most of the ripple components, and it will try to maintain the charge across the capacitor, the voltage across the capacitor to be very much nearer to the peak value. Then that is delivered to what? L section. Now you know the operation of L section filter. So what is the function of an inductor? It will try to block all AC components and it will release only DC component. That means in the first section, shunt capacitive, almost the filtration is done AC components. Whatever is present, that is handed toward L section filter, where the inductor will try to block the AC components and allow only DC. Still, if any AC components will occur, the capacitor C2 value will be such that it is less than R at the AC mains. So it will find a path for AC. All the AC will move here and it will return. So what is happening here? So what is happening after this? What it will do? Inductor blocks remaining AC and allows only DC. After this step, the inductor blocks remaining AC components and allows only DC components. Next, after this, what it will do? Capacitor C2 provides low reactance path to AC components. Will provide low reactance path to AC components. Low reactance path to AC components means what? It will bypass. So simply I can say that here bypasses further any AC components. Bypasses further any AC component. So why it is and hence the output, filtered output will be totally a pure DC value. So with a 5-section filter, we can we can obtain a pure DC output. Followed, for a full wave rectifier, if I connect a pi section filter, then at the output I can see a constant line, straight line, which signifies that is a DC component. So why it is why I am able to obtain that pure DC value? Tell me why I am able to obtain so much of pure DC value. Reply in chat. So reply in chat. So the first capacitor, which is a shunt capacitive filter. So there one filtration is done where AC components are removed. So if any AC components are there, that is blocked by the inductor L. That is the second filtration. Due to the property of inductor, what it will do? It will block AC components. So the inductor will block some remaining AC components. That is the second filtration done. Now the capacitor C2, what it is doing? It is bypassing any remaining AC components are there. So third time filtration is done. So you are doing 3 times filtration. Whereas in L section filter, you are doing 2 times filter. Though you are combining only 2 filters, an inductive filter and a shunt capacitive filter. So there the filtration is done by L and C. But here filtration is done by C1, then L, then again C. The complete AC components are removed at the output. Followed. So we'll see the mathematical analysis. So to prove that mathematical analysis, to find the ripple factor of a what do you call it, the pi section filter. So I will write ripple factor of a pi section filter. Ripple factor of a pi section filter. R pi means ripple factor of pi section filter is equal to what? What are the 2 filters we are combining? One is shunt capacitive filter and other is a L section filter. One is a shunt capacitive filter and other is an L section filter. So I can write the ripple factor of a pi section filter is the product of the ripple factor of shunt capacitive filter and inductive filter. So you remember this point. So the ripple factor of a pi section filter is equal to the product of the ripple factor of shunt capacitive filter as well as the L section filter. So what did you get the ripple factor of a that is shunt capacitive filter? RC. If you have written, just turn back and see what is the value of ripple factor of shunt capacitive filter. 1 by 4 root 3 FCR. 1 by 4 root 3 FCR. This is actually the ripple factor of a shunt capacitive filter. But what in the diagram, in the shunt capacitive, what is the name of the capacitor? I am writing C1. So this will be what? C1. Since I am writing it as C1, it should be written as C1. So RC is equal to 1 by 4 root 3 F C1 into R. But what is omega? Omega is equal to what? 2 pi F. Omega is equal to what? 2 pi F. So from this F is equal to what? Omega by 2 pi. From that F is equal to what? Omega by 2 pi. So that you substitute in this equation. That you substitute in this equation. Right? So substitute it. RC is equal to 1 by 4 root 3. In the place of F, substitute omega by 2 pi into C1R. Into C1R. Now cancel 2 and 4. 2 ones are, 2 twos are. This pi will go to the numerator. So RC is equal to pi by 2 root 3 omega C1R. Omega C1R. Right? Next. 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 RL. Ripple factor of an L section filter. So what is the ripple factor of an L section filter? Root 2 by 3 into 4 omega square L C minus 1. 4 omega square L C minus 1. But what is the component capacitor label I am writing? In the diagram it is written as C2. The L section part C2. So I will replace it by C2. Now to make it more simplified, what I will do is that let us assume 4 omega square LC2 is far greater than 1. 4 omega square LC2 is far greater than 1. So what happens? I can eliminate this part 1. So I will write it as root 2 by 3 into 4 omega square LC2. So this I got it as R. So now I have RC, I have RL. Take RC and substitute in this equation. Similarly, take RL and substitute in that equation. So R pi is equal to RC into RL. So R pi is equal to, what is RC? Pi divided by 2 root 3 into omega C1R into next RL root 2 by 3 4 omega square LC2. 4 omega square LC2. Now let us rearrange the terms. R pi is equal to pi into root 2 is pi root 2 divided by this one and this one I will write 3 root 3. This one and this one I will multiply. 3 into root 3 is 3 root 3 into divided by 1 by. Now remaining is what? This 2 into 4. 2 into 4 is 8. Omega into omega square is omega cube. L C1 C2 R. Pi by root 2 by 3 root 2. Then 2 into 4 is 8. Omega into omega square omega cube. L I will write C1 C2 into R. Now if I calculate this value, if I substitute, pi value is what? 3.14 or 22 by 7. Then root 2 value is what? 1.414. Root 3 value is what? 1.732. If I substitute all those values in that part, then I will get 0.0 854 divided by 8 omega cube L C1 C2 R divided by L 8 omega L C1 C2 into R. So simply I'll write it clearly here. So I got R5 value as 0.854 divided by 8 omega cube L C1 C2 R.